Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is the supplies at your table. You're going to use glue, crayons. You will share your glue and your crayons with your neighbors, and you're going to need a piece of paper. The first thing I do anytime I'm in art class is I write my name and my table number on the back, just like this. Now, I'm going to turn it over, and on this side, I am going to draw some trees. My first step, number one, first step, is to draw a hill across my paper. I want to make my hill kind of like a gentle frown. I don't want to do this or this. I just want a nice, gentle frown. It's kind of sad, my paper. All right, now next, I'm gonna draw a tree. Now, we all love to draw trees like this, with a nice, big, fluffy part on top. But that's a tree we see in summer because it still has its leaves. We wanna draw fall trees. So we're gonna draw a tree without leaves. And we want to make sure our tree is big. So I'm going to start my tree all the way at the bottom of my paper, not at the top, all the way it's going to touch the bottom. And I'm going to start with the letter Y. Let me show you what that looks like. I have a straight line and two lines coming from it. That's a Y, right? Now I'm going to draw little Y's coming from my big Y. My little Y's can go any direction I want. I have some Y's on this side. I better add some Y's over to the other side. Starting to look like a tree, isn't it? I'm going to keep adding some Y's. Some of my Y's can be really long with big lines. Some of mine can be kind of small or even medium. All right, awesome. Once I like the way my tree is looking, I feel like I've added enough Y's, I'm gonna add my leaves because this is a winter tree. Winter trees don't have any leaves, but if we look outside right now in the autumn or fall, we will see trees with some leaves still on there. And those leaves are gonna be the pretty colors that we painted last class. So our next step is to make our leaves. To make our leaves, we're gonna tear our paper. Not cut it with scissors, we don't need scissors. We're just gonna tear it. And we're gonna tear it into pretty tiny pieces. If we use a big leaf, we're gonna cover up all our pretty Y's. We don't wanna do that. We've spent a lot of time and hard work on making our tree pretty, so we don't wanna cover it all up. We wanna use little leaves. So I'm gonna add some red leaves right now. And to do that, I'm gonna open Mr. Glue's head, make sure his tongue has disappeared, and add dots. I can add dots where I want my leaves to be. I'm gonna be really gentle with Mr. Glue and add tiny dots. Look how tiny that dot is. If I'm using a small leaf and I press it down, I'm not gonna need any more glue than that. Look, it's not falling off. I'm gonna keep adding leaves to my tree until I like how it looks, and I'll show you that when it's done. All right, so ready to see what it looks like? Here it is. So I added with a tiny bit of glue and a little piece of paper leaves all around my trees. I also colored some green, I colored my tree brown, and I even had time to add some color to the sky. These are all things you can do if you have time. You can also think of other things that could go in your sky. And I've also seen people put some leaves on the ground too, because remember, our leaves are falling down. So there might be some on the ground too. All right, have fun, girls and boys. We're gonna work on this for 12 minutes. So you're gonna have a lot of time. Take your time and do your best.